I'm a non-operative sports guy. I don't do anything surgical. I've got partners that take care of that better than anybody else in the state when we need it to be done, so that's a nice thing. We take care of the two colleges in town, and we're there on a regular basis dealing with their athletes in the training room weekly and covering their sports, you know, in-house, ready to be there if something happens. And then we're, you know, involved with over 20 of the local and regional high schools as well, covering training rooms through athletic trainers, but then physician coverage of all the different tournaments from the MHSA level, from divisionals and districts and state wrestling tournament we're at all the time, from start to finish. The local community events like the Heart and Soul Run. I mean, if it's happening and they need a physician, we're willing to be there and tend to be there, and so it keeps us on the go, but it's enjoyable. One of the most enjoyable parts of my job is being able to follow the newspaper and, you know, read on all the local and college sports and see the kids and how they're doing and how they've done both after injury, you know, and to recognize names and faces when they walk into the office, unfortunately, for injuries and issues, and kind of know who they are, and they often know who we are, you know, and so it's nice. It almost creates this big sports family because we're a small enough community. People know each other, but you know, we can see everybody when they're healthy and deal with things when it's not so good, and that provides a little bit of continuity, and I think is good for everybody. I think Ortho Montana leads the way in this state, and we've always strived to be the leaders for sports medicine that way. We'd like to set the example, set the bar high for everybody, and make everybody state and region-wide realize that, you know, having somebody, whether it's an athletic trainer or one of us as a physician, there and available at the time of competition is an important thing for the athletes and helps with the athlete's safety and early recognition and intervention and ultimately good outcomes for the athletes. Others do it. I don't think there's a group in the state or region that comes anywhere close to the sort of commitment that we make and the time and effort that we put into it. But a lot of that's because, you know, it's outside of work hours, and you know, it's more than what we really need to do, but it's what we love to do. And so it's hard not to have a smile on your face when you're at the Mustangs game, even though it's probably kind of work, you know. But it's an enjoyable thing, and we're all passionate about it, and it helps them, and that's what's most important, and it's enjoyable for us, so it's kind of a win-win. I think a good rule of thumb is not all pain means injury, and if you're an active individual, you're going to experience aches and pains and discomfort. Pain that progresses as opposed to improves when you're working out is kind of a red flag. So if getting into a run or a workout, stuff's getting worse, not better, it's a reason to back off at least and give it a few days. It doesn't mean you have to run to the ER over it necessarily, but if you're seeing a worsening sort of your symptoms, especially with activities, it's probably an indication the activity's not helping and maybe making things ultimately worse. Listen to your body. When you start mentally fatiguing and getting burnt out, that's when physical injuries happen most consistently. And so if you're in soccer 9 months out of the year, you're probably going to break down at some point. And if you can break up that lifestyle and try something different, the likelihood of getting injured is much lower.